Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally here to close out my January monthly budget. I feel like every single month I'm finally here, and I always plan to close out my budgets earlier than I do, but something always ends up happening, and this time around, let's just blame it all on taxes. I'm not gonna bore you guys with all of that in this video, but I am here to finally, like I mentioned, close out this monthly budget. I have my stickers ready because I'm going to not only weekly check-in for the last week of January, which was from the 25th until the 31st. So I'm going to weekly check-in for that fourth week. Then I'm going to get my results that will be going in my monthly budget here. I'm also going to close out my sinking funds page. And I think that's gonna be it. Yes, so let's go ahead and start with our monthly view because this video tends to be one of the longer ones. So I have all of these stickers ready to be laid down, and I have my expense little sheet next to me. So let's see. On the 25th, I actually bought us some McDonald's, and I think this was after going over to my sister's to drop off some materials for her to work for this week, which she lives in Oceanside, which is around an hour away from me. And so we just ended up grabbing some McDonald's right after we went to go drop that off. And then I think the rest of my expenses are all, no, I have one on the 27th, but I have a lot on the 26th. So on the 26th, we finally ended up going to get some groceries, and I've actually been a little bit more active over on my Instagram, which is just at Ramina Plans if you guys are interested in following me on there. But I've been really active on there, kind of showing my grocery hauls and just bits and pieces of my life, I guess, on there. So if you guys are following me on there, then you guys know that I went to Costco for the first time on the 26th on the Tuesday, and we spent quite a bit. We also went to Target. I know I did a couple of like drive up, pick up, and that was pretty much it. But for the most part, we wanted to, at this point, only go grocery shopping every 2 weeks. And so this was kind of an awkward week to do it at because it is the end of January, but the groceries would last me for part of the beginning of February. So we did spend quite a bit of money for groceries together, but let me show you guys what it is that I spend. So you guys know that I live with my boyfriend Paul, and for the most part, we split everything pretty evenly, I would say. Sometimes I will take care of more household items than he does, just because he does pay more for rent. So that's kind of how we go about things. So we went to, like I mentioned, Costco, as well as we had gone to Target. And so I just combined all of the groceries that I picked up with this cute little rosy sticker, which is for groceries. So in total, I spent $80 for groceries this day. And I also spent $29 for Costco, which this is for all of our household expenses, which is why it has this clay little colored sticker. So I did end up buying, I believe we bought toilet paper, napkins, and it's something that we really needed. And I'm sure that even though I spent for it this month, I will probably not need it until March, I want to say. We'll see. So that is what I spent on the 26th. Also from Target, I ended up buying some eyeliner. So I got this money out of my beauty cash envelope because it was a makeup purchase. And the last expense that I had this week and for the end of the month was for Amazon for $25. I'm trying to remember what it is that I bought. Oh, okay, so I bought this like sweat belt that I wanted to wear when I would work out, and so that was $25, and that came out of my allowance cash envelope. So as you guys can see, all of my expenses are separated by categories that I like to weekly check in for, and I like to do this. And even though, let's say I went to Target and I bought some groceries and that eyeliner, I like to make sure to split everything. So I do like to go through my receipts, and if I buy multiple things from multiple categories, I like to split them into their respective category, because with Target it is a little bit a little bit of work because I do use my Target red card for the 5% off, but I always do go back and pay for that. So if you guys have been following my channel, then you guys know that I am not opposed to credit cards whatsoever, especially ones that give you reward points, as long as you're paying for those credit cards when the statement is due. But as always, just do whatever works for you. This is kind of what works for me and what I like to do. But I'm now going to go ahead and lay down my no spend sticker. So I had a no spend on the 28th, on the 29th, on the 30th, and on the 31st. I think those were all of my expenses. I believe so. So those are all of my no spend days, and what I like to do at the end of the month is kind of go through and count them up. Yeah, so last month I went ahead and just put how many no spend days I had. So I'm gonna do that again. Just gonna pop it here. And let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, which is so good. I believe in December I had 11 no spend days. So 14 no spend days out of 31 days is pretty great to me. And it's just a little something extra that I like to do for decorative purposes as well as for motivational purposes. So that is what's going to go in this monthly view. And now I'm going to weekly check-ins. So like I mentioned, I'm just gonna write out my categories really quickly. So I have groceries, and I'm just gonna write it for my results section as well. So let's go through week 4. First we have groceries. Let me just grab my pen here for groceries. I spent $80. So I'm just gonna make dashes here because I'm not rolling over anything. Typically I only do that towards the beginning, in the very first week of the month. So spent was $80. And last week I had 110, so that means that I am ending the month with $30, which is so crazy. But the way that we split things for Costco, it ended up working out. And even though we did purchase a lot of things in bulk at Costco and it was pricier, I'm so happy to see that I am under budget by $30, which is so crazy. Let's see, how much did I budget? I budgeted $275, so in reality I only spent around $245, and I didn't roll over any money for groceries. So this is amazing. This is great. Of course, I will still have to see how I do in February, but I am thinking that I probably can decrease this amount for the month of March. But this is a really good number to have, at least for me. So I'm really happy about groceries. Then for household, I spent $29. So $29 for household, and last week I had $33, so that means that I have $4 remaining. And I have all of my cash here, by the way, for my cash envelope, so I should probably count that. Most of these I will be rolling over to February, with the exception, I think, of groceries. I think I'm gonna leave that one alone because I really want to stick to the budget that I have and decrease my grocery spending throughout the month. So $30 for groceries, we have 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 30. In my groceries cash envelope, in the household, I should have 4 in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, and $4, which I think I am gonna just roll over these $4. So that is gonna be for that. Then let's see. Then for eating out, spent $18 for McDonald's. I'm sorry if I'm going back and forth and you guys do not like that. I know some people don't, but that's kind of what I have to do for the weekly check-in. So $18, and I had $45 remaining last week. So that means that we have, or I have remaining $27 for eating out, which This is so great. Of course, in the month of January, I started my whole, I would say, weight loss journey, although it's not that I want to lose like an incredible amount of weight, but I do want to eat healthier and start working out. And my Weight Watchers app has definitely helped me out, which I've talked about so much, not only on here, but also on my Instagram. And Weight Watchers is actually offering this referral program now. So if you guys would like your first month off of Weight Watchers, then go ahead and check the description box. I will go ahead and leave my referral link down below, and that will just give you guys a free month as well as me a free month. I already paid it for January, and I'm gonna pay it for February and March because I'm under this promotion anyways, but definitely recommend it to you guys. And I think that was one of the main reasons why I didn't spend, and I have so much money left over from eating out. So $27 left from eating out, and I have 25, 6, and 7. That's so crazy. And I know I budgeted more for my birthday for eating out for the month of February, but I think I am just gonna roll this money over. That's what I'm thinking. I still think so. Okay, next for allowance, I spent $25 and I had 32 last week. So that means that I have $7. So I'm under budget by $7 in allowance, which is not too crazy. 5, 6, 7, but I will be rolling over this allowance cash envelope money to my allowance sinking fund cash envelope, which you guys know that I love doing. And then I did actually use that, I think, in my sinking funds. I did. You guys will see it in a second. And we have beauty, which I spent some money for my eyeliner, which I was running out, and I ended up going with like a drugstore one because the one that I used, or that I've been using for the last couple of months, was one from Too Faced. It was a pen. It was really nice, but I didn't want to spend like $23 for it, so I just went with the cheaper alternative, which is fine. I really love this eyeliner, by the way. It's the Wet n Wild one. And okay, beauty spent 7, and I had 52 last week, so that means that I have $45 remaining, which is a lot of money once again, but you do have to keep in mind that I did roll over $80 in the beginning of the month, so I am going to still roll this money over because I was debating whether I wanted to get my eyelashes done, and I'm still debating getting them done for my birthday. I'm honestly really debating, but I am starting to run out of my skincare, and my skincare is more of a high-end skincare, so I do definitely want to use this money to buy maybe a new serum or a toner, moisturizer, and all that from Sephora. So I'm really happy that I have some money left over from every one of my categories, I want to say. Yes. So 45 for beauty. We have 20, 30, 40, and 5 left over here. And then the last category that I have is gas, which I actually, no, I didn't pump. I pumped gas on the 19th, but that was pretty much it. So I'm going to put 0 here, and I had $30 left, which I have decreased my gas cash envelope amount significantly, I believe by half. So I'm doing $30 a month now because I realized that I don't pump more than once a month, and so I definitely want to be realistic. And then last but not least, for unbudgeted, we don't have any of my red stickers. I have not had an unbudgeted expense this month, which is so motivating once again. Of course, if you had an unbudgeted expense this month, I really suggest that you don't see that as such a big deal, because February is coming up, and February is a new month, which means that you get new money for your cash envelope, new opportunities to save more money, to not spend on some days, and to redeem yourself. So definitely don't feel discouraged. Not sure where I left off, but I'm now going to finish with my results here. So this was my last weekly check-in, and now I like to have a results section when I do have the space. Sometimes my month goes up to week 5, but when I do have the space, I will mark this a results section. So I'm basically just going to add up all of my spent, and then the remaining is going to be the same. So let me quickly just add up everything. So the total for groceries spent was $245, sorry. So I spent in total $245 for groceries this month. Then for household, I spent $103. Typically I budget $100, but since I rolled over $7 from the month prior, that's kind of why I was okay. For eating out, I spent a total of $85. For allowance, I spent a total of $93. And then for beauty, I spent a total of $260. And then for gas, I just spent $30. And of course, nothing for unbudgeted. So those are my results for all of my cash envelopes, which most of these amounts, if not all of these amounts, I will be bringing to my dashboard note page in the beginning of the month, which I actually showed that in my cash envelope stuffing for February. So make sure you stay tuned, or if you guys watch that video, then you guys know what I'm talking about. But those are all of my results, and now that I'm done with my weekly check-in part, I'm going to move on to my sinking funds. I'm quickly just going to take a picture of this transaction log, so then that way I don't have to flip back and forth. But now I'm going to go ahead and close my sinking fund. So I will go ahead and put the total amount of money spent for all of my sinking funds and then for my ending. But first, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and roll over the remaining allowance money to my allowance sinking fund cash envelope. So I think it was $7. Yes, so $7 will get added to this. Right here. Okay, let me grab that actually. All right, so for adventures, I spent, let's see, a total of $383. So that means that I have $107 remaining. So all of the ending amounts should match up perfectly to the beginning amounts that I had in my February sinking funds. And that's kind of how I check that everything is good at the end of this video. Then for allowance, I actually did have one spending, which I didn't show you guys, but I spent $40 for part of this outfit that I bought from a shop called IMGM. And Paul actually ended up paying for most of this outfit, but I just paid for the difference, which was $40. So that money I took out of my allowance. So I'm going to put 40 right here, spent. And that means that I have now $47 remaining for allowance. Then for Amazon Prime, nothing. So we still have, or I still have $20. I love to say we. I've noticed. Card maintenance, nothing for card maintenance. So ending with $300. Nothing for car payment or card tags. Anything else? And nothing for Christmas. I'm just gonna go through all those. Okay, so $373 for my emergency car payment, $20 for card tags, $141.50 for Christmas. Then for clothing, I did spend some money. I know I had another expense. I should probably showed you guys this before, but I ended up buying some clothes with my clothing sinking fund. I spent $46 for some clothes from Depop, which if you guys don't know what Depop is, it is just a reselling app, just like Poshmark. And so I spent, let's see, in total for clothing, $109 spent. And I started with 36 and added 75. So that means that I have $2 left over, or I had at the end of January. Then for Costco, that gets a 0. And ending with $5. Date night, anything for date night. I spent $14 for date night. So that means that I'm ending with $53. I think that was all for date night. Yes, okay. For electricity, I spent $157 this month, which I'm not sure, I mentioned this, why this was so low in comparison to past months, but that's okay. I ended with $218 for electricity. Then entertainment, nothing at all right here, so $55 for entertainment. For gifts, I had one transaction for $15, so that means that I have $115 left over. Medical, anything? Nothing for medical, so $175. And miscellaneous, I had one expense for $30. So that means that I had $70 at the end. And then per trip, nothing. And we still have this in my online banking account. Allies. So, okay, those are all of my numbers. And since I have everything now, I can go ahead and total them up. So for beginning amount, that was $2,842 with 50 cents. 807, 800 in the beginning, and then 7 right now at the end of the month. And then I spent a total of $748. And then I am ending with $2,901 with 50 cents. And that is it for closing out my sinking funds. This typically, like I mentioned, takes a little bit longer than my other videos, but I do love to kind of take you guys through the whole process of how I close out my budget for a month. And now that I'm all done with this, I no longer have to look at it. I probably will have to transfer, of course, the ending amount to my February sinking funds, but that is pretty much it for this. Now I'm quickly going to bring you guys to my variable income page, which I was able to add another source of income this month, which was Amazon. I'm also going to put Ramina Rosa here because, as you guys know, any extra debt payments that I make come from any extra income that my shop makes. So I will just put Ramina Rosa there. And since the last time that we saw each other, was there anything? Yes, I had one expense on the 29th for $30.89 from a shop called Rose Color Days, and I just ended up buying her some of her sticky notes. She was having a sale, and I think some dashboards for my A5 and A5 wide planners. And that is all that's been going on in my variable income. As I mentioned, I'm trying to definitely decrease the amount of business expenses that I have as much as I can, and I think I did pretty good for this month, so I'm very proud of myself there. And now to end with this video, we are going to go ahead and put all of our actuals here, which instead of flipping back and forth, I'm just also going to take a picture of my results. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our actuals. I am gonna off the bat tell you guys that I'm going to roll over the remaining money that I have in my cash envelopes, except for my groceries, because that's the one that I'm trying to decrease as much as I can. For groceries, I ended up spending $245, so that means that I was under budget by $30 like we talked about, which is so crazy, but really happy about that. Then for eating out, I spent, I'm gonna put 100 because I'm going to roll that money over, so no variance there. As well as for household, we'll put 100 since we're rolling over those $4 that we have left over. Then for gas, we were under budget. I'm just gonna put $30 here because I do not plan on rolling that money over. And then allowance, we will put 100 because I already did roll the leftover money to my allowance sinking fund cash envelope. So dash here. For beauty, I will also be putting 225. So dash here. Then for phone bill, for my phone bill, that was 102 with 81 cents. So I was under budget by $7.19. Then internet was $69.99. So that was perfect. Next, for Costco membership, I did end up paying $30 for this. So we're even there. And then I mentioned I had no unbudgeted expenses this month. So no variance either. So overall, I think I had a pretty good month for the first month of 2021, which definitely took a lot of me and a lot of keeping track of how much I'm spending throughout the weeks, as well as to kind of have the mentality that, okay, maybe I want to make sure that I spend less on groceries this month and kind of work towards those monthly goals. So that's kind of how I've been able to, you know, stay under budget the past couple of months, as well as try to make the most out of my cash envelopes. So now I'm quickly just going to go ahead and add all of the actual numbers. That comes out to $1,002.80. And let's go ahead and check our variance. We have 30, 30, and $7.19. So the variance is 67.19, which if I were to add these two numbers up, they would equal my $1,069.99. So everything looks perfect here. And I can go ahead and put my extra debt payment that I made this month, which aside from my student loans, that was $940. So I'm really, really happy. And with, of course, all of your support with our anniversary sale, I was able to make and to reach that extra debt payment goal amount that I had for myself this month. So thank you so much to everyone for all of your support as always. And now for all of my fixed expenses, that comes out to a total of $3,386 with 65 cents, which I'm quickly just gonna double check because sometimes I press another number. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so now that I have these numbers all done, I can go ahead and move on to my total section. So of course, I don't disclose my income or anything like that, but I will go ahead and just bring you to everything else that I do to close out my budget. So the actual for variable was $1,200.80. And then for fixed, the budget amount is the same as the actual. So just so you guys have an idea, the total amount for my expenses this month was $4,389 with 45 cents. And so what I will do at the end of this video, and once you know the camera is not rolling, is I will go ahead and put my expected and actual income that I received this month, which will of course consist of the paycheck that my shopper Mina Rosa gives me, as well as any variable income after I subtract all of the taxes that I have to subtract from this, as well as my business expenses from all of my income sources here, which is a whole other process within itself. And I could definitely make probably a mock budget for my business if you guys would like, just so you guys can get an idea. But whatever income I have as an actual, I will go ahead and subtract all of my expenses from, and then the number that I get right here is most likely going to go straight to my savings, because I believe I have a goal this year of adding $5,000 towards that while I pay off my student loan. So all of my money will definitely be going to my emergency fund. And I think with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed coming along as I closed out my January monthly budget. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, do not forget to give this a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications on. And hopefully I will get to see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.